This is a Tamaki ex-listener. I hope you enjoy. This was actually requested, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Tamaki wanted to ask you to prom and tell you about his feelings for you, but he was too nervous because he was worried that you only saw him as a friend. Kirishima and Mirio had tried to convince him to confess to you. Kirishima was one of your close friends, but he didn't know exactly how you felt about Tamaki since you never spoke about your feelings directly. Mirio, on the other hand, tried to convince Tamaki to make the first move, but he was too nervous. When you were heading to class, you heard a boy shout at you, "Yuan!" It was Kirishima. You turned around and said, "Hey Kiri, what's up?" His face said, I have a question. How do you feel about Tamaki?" You look at him with a confused look. Why was he asking this? You knew Tamaki very well. You guys were friends. Even though he was a third year and you were first year, you always kept a good relationship with him. You responded, "Well, he's a really good friend. I enjoy spending time with him." Kiriji smiled and you both started walking to class. When you got to class, you saw an angry blonde stand in front of you and said, "Oi, Yuan." You look at him with a confused look and said, "Yes, Bakugo?" You were one of the members of the so-called Baku squad, as the Mina had proclaimed it. He said, "Hey, do you have a date for prom?" You shook your head and said, "No, I don't." He said, "Well, meet me at the gate after school." He left. Kirishima had heard that whole conversation and thought that Bakugo was planning to ask you to prom. He ran out of the classroom and headed to the third year class and said, slamming the door, "Tamaki!" Tamaki looked at his friend confused and said, "Yes, Kirishima? You have to confess to Yuan now because Bakugo is planning to confess to Yuan. I'm sure about it." Tamaki was in shock and said, "Wait, what?" Kirishima explained all the things Bakugo told you in class and decided to convince Tamaki to confess before it was too late. Even though Bakugo was his best friend, he knew that Tamaki really liked you and didn't want to see his heart break. Even though what he was more surprised was that Bakugo actually asked you if you had a prom date. There was a question that he kept wondering, why did he ask you that? Tamaki, Mirio, and Kirishima came with a plan for Tamaki to stop you before you came to the gates and ask you to go to prom with him and confess his feelings. The plan was excellent and the guys were very confident. At the end of the day, you packed your things and headed out to the gate. Unfortunately for Tamaki, one of his teachers had told him to stay because he wanted to talk about some extra credits. Tamaki was secretly praying that you weren't going to the gate first and stayed a little while in your classroom, but it was too late. You were in the gate with Bakugo. Bakugo said, "Hey Yuan, I was wondering, do you want to go to prom with me?" You looked at him and said, "Bakugo, you're a really great friend, but I wanted to go to prom alone. I hope that doesn't bother you. I was going to go with Mina and the girls. Only a girls' night?" He said, "Oh, I didn't know. Well, guess I'll see you later." You pulled Bakugo in a hug to comfort him and then left. Unfortunately, Tamaki watched all the scene but didn't hear what you said. He thought that Bakugo actually had asked you to prom and he was heartbroken. At the night of the dance, you wore your favorite dress and your favorite shoes. You were ready to get out and have a fun night with the girls. Also, you wished that Tamaki and you could dance because you were really excited for it. When you got to the dance with Mina and the others, you smiled widely and started looking for Tamaki because you wanted to see how he was doing. You didn't see Tamaki around and decided to ask Mirio if he knew where he was. "Hey Mirio, I have a question for you." Mirio looked at you and said, "Oh, Yuan, what's up?" You responded with, "Where's Tamaki? I was looking for him actually." Mirio had a worried look on his face and said, "He's at his dorm. He wasn't feeling the mood for the dance." Your eyes widened and said, "Wait, what? I was really hoping I could dance with him." He gave you a confused look and said, "Wait, you weren't going to prom with that Bakugo kid?" You looked at him confused and said, No, I actually came with my friends. I told Bakugo I was coming with my friends because we wanted to have a girls' night." Miria noticed the mistake that Tamaki and him had done when they assumed you were going with Bakugo since they saw you hug him at the gate. He said, you need to get to Tamaki's room right now." You said, "Wait, why?" Miria looked at you and said, "Tamaki wanted to ask you to prom, but he was too nervous, and when he saw you on the way to Bakugo, he assumed that you were going with him." Your eyes widened as you thought, Tamaki was going to ask me to prom? You rushed off, leaving Miria standing there. You went to Tamaki's room and knocked on the door. You didn't hear an answer. You were starting to get worried. You opened the door and saw Tamaki laid on his bed. You ran over to him and said, Tamaki! His eyes widened as he saw you standing there, looking all beautiful with your favorite dress. He said, "Yuan, what are you doing here? The prom is right now in session, you know." You looked at him and gave him a hug. You said, "You dummy! Why didn't you ask me to prom?" His eyes widened and said, "Weren't you going with that explosive kid in your class?" You said, "No, I was going with my friends. We're gonna have a girls' night. If you had asked me, I would have gone with you, you know?" Tamaki's heart started beating faster as he pulled you close and said, "Yuan, I like you a lot. Well, not just like you, I love you, and I have done for a very long time. I understand if you don't feel the same way." You leaned in and kissed Tamaki. The kiss lasted a couple of seconds before you guys pulled away. You said, "I love you too, Tamaki." "Well, then Yuan, you will do me the honor of going to prom with me and being my girlfriend?" You said, "Yes, you dummy, I love you."